context that we have.
Hey, well, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
You're right. I am right. They don't have the footage from Wakanda. They have the footage from...
Did both battles take place in Wakanda?
No.
Yeah, the second one took
Endgame
place
was
in
in upstate New York.
The Endgame was at the old Avengers facility. It got destroyed. I wasn't. I left. I came back. I wasn't ready yet.
I feel like I'm being watched.
You are.
I know.
And so do I. I always have to make sure they're on there and they're like not back area. So, here's the thing. This is the first podcast we've done with the multi-set cam setup.
Heck yeah.
So I don't know how reliable this is going to be, but in theory I should be able to press 2, 1, 2, 1. And if that's off sync, future me, you get to deal with that. But hopefully, or all this is going to die and I'm just going to have to like throw something on screen, like maybe like a like cycle through pictures of ducks or something. I don't know.
That'd be great.
So
like that.
Either the cameras are working or they're not.
If you throw a few pictures of ducks, anyways, like in the podcast, I'd be okay with that. Style choice, obviously, but I'd highly recommend.
But what show what were we talking about? What show? I don't know. First of all,
I think we're talking about 4 Non-Blondes.
What? Jake's been getting progressively weirder with the shit he's been saying lately. I think it's sleep deprivation because he's slept for like 4 days.
Well, the other night he was driving back, so like at night.
What do you mean? Which day?
I don't know. One of the days I called you, you were like driving back.
Well, he's got to get on a plane tomorrow too.
Yeah.
He can sleep on the plane.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I called an early flight because I thought I had work the next week. But I got canceled. So now I'm flying back.
Wait, you
early
don't have
on
you
Sunday.
don't have a shoot next week?
No, they canceled it because I can't go to the COVID test because I'll be in New York.
So you can't make the Monday COVID test, so you're not going for the full week.
Yeah, I can't get because the COVID test is on Friday. Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
So you would have
I could send someone up there and, under my name to take a COVID test.
Yeah, that sounds illegal.
I think it is, which is why I didn't do it. But I thought about it and they canceled it, and I was like, okay. I didn't argue or say anything because I was like, I'll say something mean if I reply back. So they're gonna cancel it. They're gonna cancel
nothing at all. Yeah.
Like it's their decision to cancel it. That doesn't need a reply. If you say
I don't
you're
think
gonna
you should say what, but is it the show you've been working on before?
Yeah, the last one.
The last show you worked on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I was excited to work again.
Me and him are so unbelievably busy right now, and I'm sure you are too. I know you're still working in theaters and stuff. I'm working in Shakespeare in the Park right now, and he's on set in Atlanta like freaking 4 or 5 days a week.
Honestly, you're a lot busier than me, so
It's
I just cleared up.
But
Well,
regardless,
I haven't been. I mean, past week.
I'm just working in the movie theater.
good friend Alex, we've known him how many years now?
At least one.
Yeah, at least one.
At least 1 year.
Since
Sophomore year?
6 years?
Was it sophomore year?
Ooh, weird.
Okay.
Sophomore year. Yeah, it was
There's
sophomore
no
year.
way.
We
Your
met during
sophomore
we met during superhero.
Your
Our
sophomore
sophomore year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your freshman year.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Rip.
Rip.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's same for me because sophomores.
This was one of the podcasts I was most excited to have you come in specifically because like me and Jake are nerds, hardcore, and you're also. I think you're the only other person in like our original theater group, which we've had a good couple of that group on here, haven't we?
Like who?
I don't know.
We've had AC, we've had Malachi, we haven't had Amy.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. We haven't got to get Amy yet. We haven't got to get. There's people we've missed, but yeah, we've got.
There's some people that don't need to come on here because of the professions they're in now. Specifically, 2 of our friends who are teachers.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think that would be the best for them to come here.
they can.
They
if they
can,
want
I don't
to.
know.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say no. I mean, I don't think people should just go ask, like, can I be on your podcast? Like, usually it's like a reverse. But me and Alex have been talking a lot, so that's why I was like, he would talk to people about like a lot of the Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff, and I was like, I have to get you in with John Michael to the podcast.
Because you just now that Jake's living here, I have to remember to switch these cameras because you were just talking, and now that Jake's living here, right behind that camera, mine and Jake's desks are right beside each other. So there's many a times he'll be on Xbox or doing some work, or I'll be doing some work, and I'll just be ranting about something, about some movie. This is basically the same shit I do here, but 24/7.
Yeah.
We have a counter also that's like how many days since Johnny's talked about cameras. We just have that tally on my phone. I want to get like a big.
Usually when I see it, it's 0. And maintain that counter.
Okay. They're normally 0 because that's when I reset it.
Yeah.
But Alex, the Marvel and Star Wars stuff that we wanted to talk about. What have you watched? First off.
Well, I've watched everything.
I've watched everything too. Jake,
so
what have you watched?
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, we can start there.
Multiverse of Madness. You guys can talk about Eternals because I really do not. I don't want to say I don't care, but like
you should care. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Also, Alex, pull the mic down and up some. Yeah. There you go.
I'm just so behind at this point that like, do I really?
Well, Eternals is like a kind of by itself project, so
yeah.
Okay.
Well, he has the excuse of being gone for 11 months, 9 months, 18 months.
No,
I don't know how long.
It was 6 months. 6 months.
It was more than 6 months.
It was 6 months.
No, because we recorded like 12 podcasts.
March.
While you were gone. For while you were gone.
I left in March 15th, and I came back in September.
Okay.
End of September.
Well, then you missed a lot in just that time because
it was a lot during. Yeah, there's a lot during that time.
We recorded the commentaries for WandaVision, and I remember we were on a time crunch for those before you left.
Well, WandaVision finished before I left, though.
Yeah,
so, like,
it was done.
We knew that one was gonna be fine.
But you left like a week or two after that.
Yeah, I mean seriously, we were just doing as much as we could before I left to get stuff banked, but. We haven't banked as much lately because we've been so busy that we just don't have as much time.
We somehow have less time than when he was in the center of the country.
I mean, no, but because when I was here before I left, like we were just, we had plenty of time to just come over here for a day, and we banked like 2 or 3.
That was also.
But now me and you
the
have
vaccines,
jobs and stuff to do, so it's like it's kind of hard.
The vaccines were just rolling out at that point,
yeah.
And me and you and our families were the only people we were seeing.
Yeah, that is
true.
So
we were still in a bubble.
Because we kind of had a pod at that point in time, so that's why we were able to get stuff launched. But
because even the people we were recording with, we did over Discord.
Yeah, it's not bad to be busy, but it's just you definitely want to make time for the stuff that's important.
Which is why this show is sporadic. But like I'm getting legitimate like friends are texting me now and being like, "Hey, where's the podcast?" I've actually been rewatching them because like. Someone told me the other day, I was like, I was rewatching them, and because I haven't been able to talk to you guys in a while, and I'm like, shit, we gotta get back to this. I have to feel responsible now,
That's sad.
I know.
They could just call me.
They could just come talk to me.
You know what? Tell me who that is after the show. I'm gonna give him a call.
I'll tell you now. It was AC.
Oh shoot! Again, just anyone could just give me a call. Anyone who misses us at any point, also do that.
Okay. Eternals. Should we start there, I guess?
I mean, he still hasn't watched it.
You haven't watched Eternals. Do you care if we go into a lot of spoilers?
I feel like Alex doesn't want to spoil it for me.
I don't know what there is to spoil in that movie. Here, let's start with this. Okay. Good or bad? Did you like the movie?
I liked it. Yeah,
okay, I didn't.
You didn't like it?
No, and it's not before I get a million comments about it being the diverse Marvel movie. Here's my counterpoint to that shit. If this was supposed to be like a attempt to like diversify Marvel, get some different like categories of people in, that's a bad way of saying that, different types of people in this movie, why did you jam them all into one movie that's over there?
Well, I think it's just over there right now. That was the same with Guardians of the Galaxy. It was over there in 2016.
Fair.
So,
but
I don't know.
When it comes to Eternal, my biggest problem, and I watched that movie with a group of people, and we were MST3King it. Like we were all just having a good time, kind of making fun of it a bit. So maybe that goes into it. That movie is 45 minutes too long.
I disagree.
I think it is 45 minutes too long. And somehow being 45 minutes too long, you run into the Justice League problem where no one got enough time on screen for me to care. And the people that did get time on screen are the people I give the least shit about. Like, not Homelander.
See, I would disagree, though. Because, like, if we're looking back at, like, the first Iron Man movie, Coulson had, like, no screen time, but everybody loved him from the get-go.
Yeah, that movie's not called Phil Coulson. This
no,
movie's
it's
called
not.
The Eternals.
Yeah, but you're given these characters, and you're expected to care about them because they're the characters you're given, because they're the characters you're asking for. You know? You want comic content, so we're giving you comic content, and to go in and be like, I just wasn't given enough time to care about them, when it is a movie that's so focused on their characters, because it wasn't really focused on anything else but the characters and their motivations and who they are. You know, I mean, of course, it was a plot to save the world, but, I mean, that's in everything. You know, you're given the characters, and then you're supposed to care about them, and they give you the material to care about them, even if it's not enough now. Like Coulson, that wasn't enough then, you know?
No.
And, like, not every Eternal was also, like, the main character.
Yes, but all the ones that were the main characters, like not Homelander and Angelina Jolie, I don't know any of their names. That's another problem.
Zaku.
They're the ones I don't want to watch at all. That got the most kind of screen time. The ones
those are the characters that I think were the most interesting.
The second they
I think every single character in that movie was in some way interesting, especially given all of their situations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have.
Here's where I would agree with you. If it was one change, and now listen, I get it. At one point, I said Pulp Fiction was my favorite movie. It is absolutely not. I was young and stupid. I hate what that movie did, where every freaking movie now tries to do a twist reveal or try to tell something out of order. I feel like Eternals would have done so much better had that story been told in the order in which it happened.
I can see that. I somewhat agree with that criticism, because I've seen it a lot. You know, they should have told it in chronological order, not going the flashback.
Because think about knowing that as the audience.
However, I will say that it allowed you to feel what the characters are feeling. That way of storytelling allows you to feel what the characters are feeling, because when you're given, what's her name? The main girl. And then she is in love with Icarus, and it's not that you hate Icarus, because
is that not Homelander? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not that you like hate Icarus, and I may be spoiling something for you. Okay.
I'll watch it still, but
it's not like you hate Icarus, but he's just kind of there as a protector, as someone who seems to care about all these people. But then all of a sudden, you're caught in this thing where it's like, oh crap, I was completely wrong. Because even like the trailers, most people thought Druig was going to be the villain after the trailers.
Well, then it's just that they throw it a misdirect.
Yeah, that way of storytelling, though, allows you to feel more of what the character's feeling. When you are caught in that, I didn't know this about this one person, but now we're finding out in the same time the characters are.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay. Valid points all around.
It's the same way with, I'm not a fan in WandaVision of...
Ooh, this is gonna get fun
of Ralph Boner, but I will say,
the cameo, stupid
Quicksilver cameo. But I will say that Wanda.
His name is Boner.
Just how Wanda.
Yeah, you remember that?
Did we make fun of this when it happened?
Yes.
Just as Wanda did not know how he was there, who he was, or how he was there, she just knew he was supposed to be her brother. We were in the same boat. How is he here? Why is he here? Is this something with the multiverse? What's going on? And then we were thrown against a wall when them saying, no, it's actually not him. It's nobody important.
Yeah, it's absolutely no one.
Wanda doesn't have her brother back. She's been lied to.
I think
just
that's
as us.
The worst.
If you want our opinion on this, watch the
you
commentaries.
You kind of feel what the character is feeling. And while it sucks sometimes in the moment, like, it allows you to be empathetic with what you're seeing on screen.
Okay. I kind of get what you're saying, but it's specifically the WandaVision thing. And kind of Eternals too. I don't see it as like this weird reveal thing. I just see it as like lying to your audience.
Well, he was lying to the characters. The same thing. It's so that you're empathetic with the characters. You know, if Icarus is lying to all of his family, saying, you know, I'm this good person, like I love y'all, and then he goes and kills somebody. Whoa, that's not what you told us. Like, why are you? You know what I mean? He lied to everybody else just as we were lied to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it allows us again to feel what they felt, not just see it on screen, not just be told that it's happening, but to have some other emotion, another emotional reaction to what we're seeing. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I think the good movies aren't just something that's telling a story and just showing us. I think good movies is a movie that makes you feel something, whether it be feel something about yourself or feel something about the characters, so that you can relate to them.
You see why
you
I
can't
brought
relate
him,
to the characters,
or why we wanted him here.
Why are they even interesting if you can't relate to them? You know?
Yeah. Okay. No, I could get that. I don't think it.
And I can get not liking movies.
There are reasons, outside of relating to a character why it's
Yeah.
interesting to you, but there is always, you can always change someone's story to have the same elements, like break it down to its most base elements to even, find, because you say Eternals had their family or whatever, family problems. We all have family problems. I haven't seen the movie. I'm just saying, I don't know how
it is kind of that.
We can relate, even if we're not magical, eternal beings or whatever.
I think, like, one of the reasons I loved Eternal so much is because it was so character-driven.
Mm-hmm.
It was so character-driven.
I was telling Jake to pull the pop filter up because it's blocking the main part of it. Move the just the filter. Yeah, like that.
And
that's blocking you. So you can right?
I know.
Just get rid of the damn filter.
Just like...
It's fine. Just don't blow into your microphone and you'll be fine.
I have a problem with that.
Okay, then don't. Here, switch with me then.
Wait, I'm having trouble. Hold on a second. It didn't come off when I tried to screw it in the off direction. You know what?
Can you put it in front of it, bring it down, and then tilt it up?
I don't even know.
Do this. Just put it up on that and then point it towards you.
I can sit back in this corner.
Sorry, I was looking at that. I'm like, the plastic part is covering the main part of the microphone. I'm such a stickler with this. I know it does not matter. It doesn't actually matter. But I'm just like, if I get into freaking Premiere later and it's all messed up, I'm gonna be so angry at myself.
Yeah, for not saying anything.
Yeah. Which is why I make a comment about it every freaking podcast. So Jake, the last show you watched was WandaVision.
You said you watched Hawkeye.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I just watched Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I've seen. I think.
Afterwards. This is gonna get into more because I saw a lot of people who both liked and really hated Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Where are you on that spectrum?
It was an okay movie.
I fucking loved it. And it's because I think it's not at all because of feeling. It is because it's Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
It's a Sam Raimi.
And really good horror elements, yeah. That's what we were talking about. I don't think it was a horror movie though. I think that's what they want to make a distinction.
That was one thing I had an issue with it. I was expecting, because I'm not a big horror movie person, so I was expecting to go in this and be like, oh my goodness, we have a horror movie in the MCU. This is gonna be great. Honestly, I think I'm gonna enjoy this because it's a genre that I'm not a fan of, but I love the MCU and I'm glad that they're meshing together. And I watched it and I was like, I feel like it was kind of generic horror.
Yeah.
Especially
there were some
especially
scenes that
it's rainy horror.
Bigger.
Especially recently watching something like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Which I haven't watched yet.
Which is whoa. It's
I don't know.
It's a whole nother level.
As someone who
I've seen Multiverse of Madness with both of you, so
yeah. So we're on different spectrums with this.
Yeah.
Some of the horror in it, I was like, oh, you kind of had to zoom in to see that, because a lot of the stuff that I've seen about oh wow, that's intense, I've seen after the fact on TikTok when the movie was slowed down.
Yeah, we talked about the big attack scene that should have been bigger. That's one thing that I was actually critical of, was that it was just what was kind of generic, but when they finally got into the close quarter scenes, that's when I thought it was really actually shown. The effects and stuff were actually good, but she's also really powerful on a bigger level, so I think they should have used that. But
I thought, to me, the movie was a lot of power for the purpose of the scene.
Yeah.
So when Wanda was attacking Kamar-Taj, she felt really weak. I know it was supposed to be her being reasonable, but even then, she could have gotten to Kamar-Taj super easily. Wong was there just standing there the whole time. He did absolutely nothing except tell them to fortify their minds. Good job, that worked.
He didn't even put up a shield thing.
He didn't put up a shield, and then half the time they were shooting animals or creatures out of their hands, and the only place I've ever seen that is What If, after he turned evil. So
See,
I'm wondering,
What If is the one show I haven't
I'm wondering
watched.
how did that work? Because I felt like now we're creating powers that they didn't have before to fill the purpose of the movie or like what they want to show.
Maybe they thought putting it in What If would make it canon so they could use it. Like,
well, even if it makes it canon, the how it happened still doesn't make sense because it was a specific process that happened in What If, where it was like, oh, this is how he had this power. He went through all of this. To
It's
get
weird.
This power.
I almost had the opposite reaction where I went into Multiverse of Madness. You were with me. I was like, I'm not really excited for this movie.
See, I wasn't
at all.
either.
Yeah, and then I went into it and I was like, oh no, this is a movie that you're not supposed to apply any logic to whatsoever. Like this isn't an MCU movie. It's a Sam Raimi horror flick. You know, this is Evil Dead 2. This is a Drag Me to Hell. You know, it's like this bizarre. And the second and I love that. Like it's not every movie. As I'm normally on your side of the fence, where every movie like has some greater meaning, is telling like a good story. But with Multiverse, I legitimately just saw your finger go up so quickly. This was the one movie I went into. It's like X-Men 3. Like strangely enough, X-Men 3 is the X-Men movie I think I enjoy the most after like Days of Future Past and Logan, because it's just like of like the original X-Men movies.
That's really unpopular, but I mean I'll take it. Like
I think 3 is my favorite because like 1 and 2 are just like.
Because X2 is usually the first one that's like, that is the greatest movie.
No, just the Nightcrawler scene, though. Like, Nightcrawler's cool. That opening scene is cool. The rest of the movie is like, just like, it's the underground bunker stuff is what I remember. Like, there's that one fight with Mystique that's kind of cool. I think that's in 2. It might be in 1.
Yeah. There's the Quicksilver scenes that I like a lot.
That's not That's not until Days of Future Past.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. We're talking about.
Which honestly, all of those X-Men. I love the X-Men movies, but all of those honestly are like my favorite movies of all time. You know what I mean? Like Days of Future Past is a really good one.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are just kind of like, oh, they're here. I'll watch
movies.
them. I enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, that was the Marvel movie that I went in with like insane suspension of disbelief. Also, some spoiler stuff here, but like as an X-Men fan, seeing Professor X come out to the X-Men animated series music, it was the perfect thing to make me love that instead of hate it. Like that
yeah.
Like that, if he came out to anything else, I probably would have hated that. And I was even telling you, I didn't want the X-Men to be in this. I do not want the Fox X-Men in the MCU.
Yeah.
Keep them out. Give us good, legitimate.
But this was a way that made sense.
Because it's in the multiverse.
Important. Yeah.
So you can just not have Patrick Stewart be Professor X, and you can give us an MCU we were talking about Wolverine. Like I really hope the MCU goes down the path with Wolverine that it's just like give us a 4'2" hairy monster man.
Yeah.
Who's just a mess of a human being. You know? Like we got ripped Hugh Jackman. That's cool. That's fine. But man, do I really want to see the fastball special. You know? Like I want to see Colossus just
like
throw
me and
Wolverine.
you talked about the X-Men like MCU kind of crossover before you watched the movie, and I'd seen it.
Yeah,
I was
it.
telling you that I was like, it's not gonna be anything that you're not gonna like. I was like, there's not gonna be, because I knew what you wouldn't like is them trying to bring the X-Men into the MCU universe.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they don't do that. So
they don't do that.
There's no reason. I was like, I think you'll like it.
We were also saying, that this is the first depiction of the Inhumans that I'll ever like. You know,
sad.
I still like Fantastic.
So
did
you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
cameo?
I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons of Agents.
And you didn't like Inhumans in that show?
When were the Inhumans in that show?
Never mind then.
I remember the Inhumans
Inhuman TV show was not that good.
Yeah, I remember that. We watched that in like a hotel.
Inhumans was a major part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's amazing. It's my favorite Marvel TV show.
Wait, the Quake or whatever's not Inhuman, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, she is? Okay, never mind.
But Inhumans were like a major plot point. Like it was the
okay, I don't think I got to where they reveal all of that stuff.
If you got to Quake, you got to that.
Okay, never mind then. Then I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
Which is also very important.
But I mean, that's what I love. I was happy they brought Black Bolt in. especially being the same actor. I was like, even if that wasn't good, I'm glad they continued doing that, pulled from it.
Yeah, I'm happy they murdered him.
Yeah.
I
was
like
popular enough Inhuman that we could like
I
recognize him.
I hate the Inhumans so much.
Why?
Because it's the comic book guy in me where it's just like the Inhumans.
Honestly, I think
suck.
I think if they did the right thing, which I don't think they're doing, they could have had the Inhumans in the MCU, and they could have had it like a precursor to mutants testing the waters.
Yeah, except no.
But except they had a
because the
perfect
second they
in
start,
for it, and I could tell you that in if you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, but the second they start using Terrigen Mist and all of that bullshit.
Well, they don't have to use it now.
Okay, fair.
If they use the N, there's something really specific in Agents
the
of
freaking
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Terrigen bomb is one of the dumbest things in comic books ever.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yes.
In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay,
Murders all the mutants.
Now, but
they used
they
Terrigen.
Yeah.
It was not a Terrigen bomb or something like that.
Okay.
It had a more
they also
founded or like grounded approach, I think.
They also did Ghost Rider in Agents.
They
If they
did.
bring that in, that's gonna be a movie-long conflict, though. Like the Terrigen being able to kill mutants and stuff. That'll be down the line. But if they bring that in, that's gonna be.
If they used it as an approach to just test the waters for the idea of mutants in the
Yeah.
MCU, I don't think they would even have to go that route of Terrigen possibly killing mutants.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
but yeah, if you ever watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you get to it,
Yeah.
there's perfect end, and I really wish they would have done Miss Marvel like that, because right now they're giving Daredevil fans everything, and they're giving Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans absolutely nothing. It's annoying.
Yeah, I think that show is just it can't be in continuity, right? It has to be like a multiverse thing, right?
There's definitely ways.
Okay.
Trust me, I've thought of it. There's definitely ways that it can fit. You get farther down the line, maybe at least like season 1 through 5, it can definitely fit.
Okay.
You go into some tricky waters in the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. That was because of like Infinity War and stuff.
Yeah, because they didn't want to give them any of the information for what they were going to do.
Yeah,
because
if it was gonna,
they're stupid and rude, and so they were like, "Well, we still have to make a TV show. What are we going to do?" And they just made a TV show.
Yeah, but I can also kind of see because of how tight knit all of that stuff was.
You're right.
And if it was going to leak out of anywhere, it was going to leak out of the TV stuff.
You're right, but
my not good at keeping stuff secret.
My problem is that number one, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was done by ABC, who is owned by Disney, who also owns, Marvel Studios. They all go back to the same thing, ABC, and they had been sharing the details of the MCU with them since the show started.
Okay.
Age of Ultron doesn't work without Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's plot holes. It just doesn't. They're like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. backs up the first
you
phase
told
2
me
of
about
the
that
MCU
with the way that
with the helicarrier. Where did that come
Yeah.
from? S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist anymore. If you're gonna watch the MCU without any other context, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist anymore. Sure, Nick Fury maybe has resources, but S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist. Where's he keeping those resources?
What is
that
the
makes
deal with
no
S.H.I.E.L.D.
sense.
right now? Because we've got damage control right now, and we've got Sword. Is it damage control? Is it supposed to be?
Not sure.
I don't think they talk about damage control. Sword, obviously, because that was
Damage control still exists.
Damage control in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
That-
You'll get that.
Yeah. But
You
Okay,
watched
I
Spider-Man
didn't
No Way
know.
Home?
Yeah.
That's who that guy
that
was.
was damage control.
Yeah, that was basically.
And
damage
they've come back up recently.
Oh.
They're just fronting themselves as not damage control.
Yeah.
But also like the one more thing, just I love the kills. Like that is something like when me and Jake watched the Friday the 13th thing. The number one thing I was always critiquing was the kills, because that's always Multiverse Madness kills were amazing. It made me. I think I told Jake about this. It made me hate the Blair Witch Project even more, because it showed me what a witch, what being hunted down by a witch. I am that kitty. No cat.
Got in.
Which one is it?
I don't
Ripley.
know.
Ripley?
Yeah. She just tugs at the mics.
She has a habit of knocking over the
She
tripods.
only comes whenever there's something going on, like important.
Okay. Well, their food's right there.
Yeah.
She wants food. That's fine. What was I talking
keeping
about?
the peace.
But like Black Bolt's head collapsing in is
That's a favorite one. But I like Mr. Fantastic too. Captain Marvel didn't make much sense, but like if she was powered down, maybe that's
some
why.
people said that like in WandaVision she took the power from her. I don't really think that makes sense, because it's not witch power like it was with Agatha.
Yeah, no.
I think that was the little stupid to death in it, because ain't no way Captain Marvel's about to die to a statue. But
yeah, but
you know,
we're
it happened,
still,
so
that
was
is the
weird.
suspension of disbelief stuff at a certain point. You know.
Yeah.
I think. And
yeah,
here's
but
my thing.
My question is, when you're talking about suspension of disbelief, is how much should I have to suspend my disbelief in a story where you typically wouldn't need to?
Well, that's
You
the
know,
thing
if
with
it's it's Marvel, we have Scarlet Witch, who's supposed to be the most powerful character like ever, going against Captain Marvel. I feel like there could have been a way more realistic way to kill Captain Marvel than a statue.
Yeah, or subdue her.
Yeah,
least.
something than just a statue.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, you're right.
Her own energy.
This is getting to the thing, and it's the reason I've been slowly tapping out of the Marvel movies for like the past like year, like especially like post Infinity War stuff. Like the shows and stuff are fine, but I think it's getting. I think they're oversaturating their own market.
This is how I see it.
Talking to the mic.
Sorry. You have COVID that happened in 2020, right? So that pushed everything back. Now, they decided not to just push everything back at the same rate.
Yeah.
They decided to push everything together so they could get to where they wanted to.
So it's
like
fatigue and not burnout.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think we're going to eventually get to a point where this is going to make more sense. And this is kind of my problem with Multiverse of Madness. They told us this movie was going to be a culmination of the things we're seeing. No Way Home, WandaVision, Loki. Nothing in Loki was mentioned. There was no Multiverse Madness. It was just...
Was that stuff that was pulled from us, or is that stuff that people speculated?
I feel like it was expectations put by Marvel. Now, if that's true or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it's Multiverse of Madness, either way, the expectation that comes with that title is madness. In the multiverse. And multiverse encompasses more than two universes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know
I'll give
I
you
mean?
that.
That was one thing I did agree with.
The end of Loki, you haven't seen Loki?
No, he hasn't.
The end of Loki,
even
I'll say
the Loki
this,
stuff
felt chaotic.
Yeah, it did. It really
felt
did.
like chaos was brewing. It was happening. It was coming. And then we get Multiverse of Madness, which is
a couple universes.
We were in two universes. Ours and theirs. Or we were in three. Sorry.
Three.
You know? And I'm
but
like, and only one of them, we saw like a big group of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even like the Loki, I'm not
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. Perfect title. Multiverse of Madness? I don't know.
Even the Loki stuff, my brain wasn't watching that. I wasn't going like, oh, multiverse. I was like, oh, this is all time travel stuff. Even though I know it's technically the same with the way Marvel does their stupid like way time and multiverse stuff works, like the branching, whatnot, like the not Back to the Future.
Yeah. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I get it, but even
I can explain it for you.
I get it. I get it. It doesn't mean I have to like it. What did you think of Moon Knight? Because Jake's heard my opinions on Moon Knight.
What was your opinions on Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Jake, do you want to sum up my opinions on Moon Knight?
Please tell me you don't think it's the best Marvel
Could have done better.
Yeah.
Just basically like all across the board.
It fucking sucked.
Everything could have done better.
Hawkeye was my least favorite Disney Plus show.
See, Hawkeye came and went for me. Like, it was there.
Moon Knight, I think, was good, but it relied on being simple, especially when there was such amazing stuff they could have done with the Egyptian gods.
See, he talked me out of watching it. I was like, I watched the first episode. I was like, this is kind of weird. And then he's talking to me about it. I was like,
watch it.
This does not sound appealing. Like, he was telling me about it, and I was like, this sounds...
I kept telling him more and more.
Don't
I
want to
think
see
it relied on being a simple story. Not a bad story.
Yeah.
A simple story.
But that simple story was bad.
No.
I have to catch up on the MCU anyways. I'm going to watch it all.
Yeah,
right, but it just didn't.
Time.
He didn't give me confidence in like because I watched first episode before I watched anything else. I hadn't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier yet. I hadn't seen all this stuff, but I watched that.
Here's my point with Moon Knight. I was out the second. I took a lot of writing classes in school. I went to school. I have a degree. I have spent a lot of time in the professional setting of
I went to college.
I went to college. Okay. There are two cardinal sins committed in the second episode of that show.
Which are?
Jake, would you like to tell me? What did I tell you were the two cardinal sins of writing?
I know one of them they said, as you know.
If you ever hear the words as you know, you're fucking
that?
Done. In the second episode.
Who said that?
What's her name? Exposition girl who doesn't get any like actual development even though the actress is working her ass off.
Oh, okay.
the wife. Freaking.
When did she say that?
Whenever she's trying to give freaking annoying ass Steve.
After all we've been through.
After all we've been through was the other one. If you hear the words, if you hear either of those lines, as you know, or after all we've been through, you're done. Your script, you have failed somewhere in your script.
Well,
it is because here's why. Here's why.
12th Night, as you know. Is that it?
Here's why. If the characters already know this, why are you saying it? That means you're just dumping exposition onto the audience, and you're doing it poorly. If you go with the after all we've been through, why aren't we seeing that? Yeah. You're implying a relationship that we haven't watched, that we haven't seen, and that we have no emotional stake in. So why do we care why these characters are going through it now? Those are two cardinal sins that just do not.
I would say, though, if they only did it in episode 2, then those two cannot, for me, could not ruin the entire show.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that ruined the entire show for me. There were other things that ruined the show for me. Okay. That was just when I was like, "You're done." That's when I was like, "I'm checked out. You've lost my goodwill."
Well, I think even I'm a fan of show, not just tell, not just show, don't tell. You know, because I think as long as they're telling and showing, which I think even if they didn't show before, I think they did a good job of showing
this
that
gets
they've
back
been
to the
through
Pulp
stuff.
Fiction thing. Well, why is this story being told out of order?
Moon Knight wasn't told out of order. They didn't do flashbacks.
Yes, they did. The 5th episode, he does a whole origin for Mark.
Okay, that's true. Yep, sorry, I forgot that.
if this show was told in order, like I said, it would have been way more interesting for me. You know, if it was like,
see, again.
Also,
but it's a story. It's a story of abuse. For this one, I have to say, it's about repressed trauma. There's no other way you can tell a story of repressed trauma without the character finding out later on what they forgot.
Okay.
And that being a deep burden on them.
I can agree with you.
The way they did it, even though it happened in WandaVision and happened, those flashbacks, there's no other way a story of trauma and all this stuff can be told without the character finding out in the future. Without the audience being held in this state of what is going on.
I would absolutely agree with you.
Especially in the story that they're telling with multiple personality disorder, where they made it feel chaotic, where they don't know what's going on just as us. If you want to tell us a chaotic story and have them interested in the chaos, you have to make it not only chaotic for the characters, but chaotic for the audience.
I would absolutely agree with you. If we still needed to see what Mark thought was going on. Okay, the most we get is kind of is Steve calling his mom and like kind of realizing, oh, she does not exist. Or she does not talking to them. I forget what the actual, is she dead? I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought she just didn't exist. When I first watched it, I was like, if he's this actual other person, then his mom.
But I remember like the whole reveal with like her being a piece of shit and stuff.
Well, but and with that, again, you have this person who.
It would have to be like an unreliable narrator instead of just like, we're assuming a bunch. We're assuming a lot.
Well, that's why it's weird, though. You have this character who's living this life that he supposedly has lived his entire time, what he thinks he's lived this entire time. So while it's not normal to us, it makes no sense to us, it somehow makes sense to him because this is all he's ever known. If that's all you've ever known, why would you question it? You have no reason to question it. Because that's all you ever thought there was in your life. You know what I mean? You know? Oh. So that's part of the chaos, Why does he what's actually happening? He obviously thinks it's going on. It's like if you take a lie detector test and someone asks you a question, but you believe your answer is right even if it's wrong. It won't go off. Why? Because you believe the lie.
Yeah.
You don't think you're lying. You have no reason to hide the truth, so there's not going to be any signs that you are. You know?
I still think, and this gets into like a personal...
And like, again, I still don't think it's the best show ever. I was really annoyed with how they were hiding, what's his name? The third personality. Because they were ignoring that part. Yeah.
Is there 6 altogether? 5 or 6?
So this gets into... Here's the thing.
There's 3 in the show right now.
There's 3 in the show right now.
There's 5 Moon Knight, though.
Yes. There's normally, I believe, 5 personalities. And like I got into Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel when the shows came out. I didn't know anything about these characters when the shows were coming out. For both of them, I was like, I'm going to look into them and see if I like them. I fell in love with both Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel because of that. normally, from what I understand, I might get part of this wrong, there's normally 5 personalities in Mark Spector. It's Mark Spector, the mercenary, Stephen Grant, the billionaire or millionaire or whatever. What's the cab driver's name?
Jake.
That's the third. Jake.
Jake Lockley.
That's the third personality.
Jake Lockley, and then Mr. Knight and Moon Knight. In the Moon Knight show, Moon Knight and Mr. Knight are just the Moon Knight costume, or just the Khonshu suits for Mark and Steven.
Yeah. Huh.
Now, here's what I think would have been cool.
I didn't know that. That was cool.
And like, you've got 6 episodes on this show. What if this show was like, we have 6 episodes. Why don't we just dedicate 1 episode to each personality, and then 6 episode ties them all together?
But that would be a really out of order story. It doesn't have to be. How it? But
right day and night, like you're running out of time. Damn it!
I don't know how you could write that story without it being out of order.
I could write that story.
I mean, I'm sure you could. I'm just saying I don't know how well it would do.
Yeah, you're right.
Like if you have someone with multiple personality disorder, you know,
here's the other thing.
They have.
I forget this a 5th time.
I don't know. Sorry, yeah.
I'm really sick. This is a personal pet peeve. I am really sick of media treating mental illness as a superpower. I really hate that cliche. I really hate it.
I don't have multiple personality disorders, so I can't say for sure how people feel about it. I have seen it more as superheroes have mental illness or something. Or
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like they have
That's
flaws.
fine.
Like, yeah, superheroes just have
I really don't want to mention this book.
How many other
but
people
I'm going to
in
anyway.
the MCU have multiple personality disorder?
Have you read Heroes in Crisis?
No.
It was, I think I've talked to Jake about this book. It was a
I know what you're talking about.
I believe it was not Tom Taylor, Tom King.
The DC run.
Yeah. I think it was King. It was somebody. Where basically there's like this hidden area. I think it's either on an island or the center of the country where all the DC superheroes all go to basically unload their trauma onto robot therapists. And it's basically just every DC character going over there. It's like, well, we're gonna just knock all the trauma. And Jason Todd's there. It's like, yeah, I died. Barbara Gordon's like, yeah, I got shot. It's just like, go down the list of everything that's ever happened to any comic book character ever. Neat idea. And then it turns into like a murder mystery with a really weird ending that I get the feeling.
I like that.
I get the feeling it had some kind of intervention stuff. Basically, it boils down to, spoiler alert, Speed Force bullshit.
Interesting.
And it is like, it doesn't work for the character who did it.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's one of, like, the idea of like superheroes going through trauma and stuff. I do like the idea of, and then like dealing with like PTSD and stuff like that. But but I don't want, at the end of the day, Mark Spector is a dangerously mentally ill man. And the whole thing with Moon Knight is him kind of saying, you know what? I'm just going to let these personalities ride. Instead of doing what he really should do and get on some fucking medication and get his act together. But then also there's a whole thing, like, this is not even mentioning the fact that, like, is Khonshu even real? Is it all bullshit? Like, it's like, and that's something that the comic kind of delve into. It's like Thor, like, at one point was literally talking about, it's like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck Khonshu is. Who's this Khonshu?
Well, I like the idea.
We all kind of hang out. Like, we've all been to, like, the same Thanksgiving, but, like, all the people that the Earth worships. And who's this Khonshu guy? Eventually, they're kind of like, yes, Khonshu definitely exists. And it's not just, but he is absolutely just messing with Mark Spector's mind.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I don't know what I was saying. But I mean, like, it's like going to Wanda. You know, her depression isn't like, because she had trauma and depression in Wanda.
Yeah, and she fucking ruins people's lives because of it. Those people in New Jersey were imprisoned.
Well, you're right. Anyway, like, but like,
We're beyond the
her
point of
emotions
sympathy.
lead to her power, but her depression isn't what gives her all of her power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same way kind of there, you know? She just happens to be this superhero who has to face these problems. And she's not the only one. It seems like that because we're watching this specific story.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the
And
things.
Scarlet Witch specifically is a character that it's a fall from grace, you know.
And
Not
like,
that it was not that it was a high fall, but it was definitely like she slowly like ended up like going down further down the rabbit hole, like falling further and further. Whether it started with like Quicksilver's death and then accidentally killing all those people in Civil War, and then Vision, and then frickin' WandaVision, like the whole thing in New Jersey. It's Jersey, isn't it? Is it Jersey City?
Jersey?
No, Miss Marvel's in Jersey City.
Yeah, it's
but it's in New Jersey.
West
Yeah,
New Jersey.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we move to Star Wars?
I haven't seen.
Wait, I have something else to say.
Okay, say what you want.
Multiverse of Madness. So earlier, I like to compare because you were talking about like this new like way of stuff in the MCU. You know, like
What did I say?
I think you were saying something about like
Something profound.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You
said something and it made me think of it, but it made me think about like comparing how Eternals was received and how Multiverse of Madness was received.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting how people were praising Multiverse of Madness for giving us something new and a new way of like writing, because a lot of people didn't like the writing in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Like a new way of writing, a new director, a new style, like because Raimi is definitely his own style of directing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's definitely restricted. It's definitely Marvel Studios.
But
Raimi.
he still has his style.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But a lot of people praise Multiverse of Madness for bringing in this new style.
See, I saw
Eternals,
a lot of hate for it.
Well, see, I saw a lot of both.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
anytime people talk about the style for Eternals, it was a lot of this was really different. You know what I mean?
Eternals, I felt it felt like a Marvel movie to me.
Really?
Yeah, I like it. There's nothing about how it's shot or what's shown on screen that made me.
See, I thought Eternals was like beautiful. Same with Shang-Chi.
I mean, yeah, they're all shot well.
Beautiful.
It's just like, but it's shot in the Marvel way.
I think the way those movies were shot were miles beyond what some of these other movies have done.
Streets ahead.
Huh?
Streets ahead. Streets ahead of what the other movies are. Sorry, it's verbal wildfire.
No. And I'm not saying that Eternals is like the worst movie ever. I've seen worse movies.
Yeah,
look behind me.
Of course.
I'm sure you can point at half of that shelf and be like, "This is the worst piece of shit I've ever seen." And then also there's like,
and that's the
some
same
of the
with
greatest movies you've ever seen.
Same with like Multiverse of Madness. Definitely not the worst one. Like I like Thor: Dark World. So.
My favorite movie right there.
I thought he was talking about Thor.
What's my favorite movie right behind you?
I know. Oh, Anger Management's your favorite movie.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah.
I was looking down that little rack right there. I was like, okay, I see some good movies, and I saw.
Yeah, there's definitely like we've got. Also, you haven't been in this. You haven't been in the studio, have you?
No.
This is your first time seeing this.
Yep.
Yeah, I spent way too much money. But I will tell you what, collecting movies is a lot cheaper than collecting games, which is what I used to do.
Sounds like fun. Shrek.
Collecting the collecting games went up so much in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking, I'm like hundreds % markups on some stuff.
Well, like I said, I got Arkham Knight for $10 the other day. And
I got it for $4.
Arkham Knight wasn't popular. I think it wasn't popular enough to get like big high prices.
I got City Asylum and Knight for like $4 each.
See,
I'm gonna beat you up. I don't want Arkham City.
Quite good. I've been playing it right now.
The thing is that you bought it for Xbox One, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about collecting
Hard
retro stuff.
Oh.
I'm talking about finding.
I
would love to one day finish the N64 library because it's only like 200 games or something like that.
Yeah, I think we at the house have like most of them.
Yeah, I think like that would
majority
be something I would enjoy. The Wii library, I'm decent on. Like, granted, that library is like, I think it's 2,100.
Yeah,
I know people that have is the thing.
But do you want to? Do you really want to collect all of them?
I mean, no, because like I have better things to spend money on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like another,
exactly.
like more copies, more DVDs or VHS tapes.
Just get another copy of Skyrim or something.
I already own 5 copies of that game.
That's what I'm saying.
That's stupid.
And anytime it comes out a new console, dude, you get it.
That's kind of what happened, and it wasn't like I bought it intentionally. It just kind of happened. Like I ended up when I bought a PS3, it came with a huge box of games. It had Skyrim in it. I already had it on 360.
Yeah.
I bought it when the first remaster came on Xbox One. Then I bought a PC, and I wanted to do modded stuff. Maybe for streams, I can't remember. And then did it there, and then it came on Switch, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go on a trip soon. Might as well grab this.
You said you got the first remaster on Xbox One. You didn't get the one with the Xbox One with mods on it.
No.
Okay, because that's the one that I got for Xbox One. Because for my PS3, I had the old one.
I don't think the Creators Workshop was a thing by then.
Well, by the time that I got the Xbox One and got Skyrim with it, like the mods were already on there. Because I played it on PS3, but I eventually got it. You know, when I was.
There are these streamers I watch who they have collected. You know, I showed you them, Jake, Stephen and Mal. They've collected the entire GameCube library, the entire Wii library, the entire N64 library.
He's Stephen and Mal, and I thought you
not Stephen and Mel.
Something you said Stephen and Mel, and I was like, what? I was like,
that's what I thought you said.
Stephen and Mal, like Stephen and Mallory.
Stephen George and Mal Makes on YouTube. Friggin' amazing people. But no, like one day I would like to get back into game collecting, but it's just not. It's a lot of money now, you know.
I just want all the old games I used to have.
Yeah, and that's what most of that is.
I wish I could play my PlayStation 2, but it can't read video games, and that's so sad.
I actually know somebody who has a few old ones. I don't know.
PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
Or a few old PlayStation 2 games.
PlayStation 2.
Oh.
But I don't know if they want to sell them, you know.
Give me the parts.
Maybe.
All right, you want to talk about Star Wars?
Cool.
Talk about Star. Let's
you guys can talk.
All right, let's talk about Star Wars. You've seen everything, right?
Yes. Of course.
Jake, what have you seen?
I've only seen that one episode of the one you showed me, where
I don't know what I showed you.
The guy was like hunting Sith.
Oh, Visions.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the other thing I've seen.
Yeah, because
that's not important.
Yeah, it's not important. But the first episode of Vision is actually amazing.
Oh yeah, I really like it.
Because and we've been through this, like the samurai and the old Western film is like one of my favorite genres ever.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars takes a lot from that.
Oh yeah, especially Mandalorian. Mandalorian is straight up. It is straight up the Lone Wolf and Cub movies. That is straight up the plot of it. But it's just with this the Mandalorian instead of this ex-executioner, former executioner.
Executioner.
What do you think of Kenobi?
I like it.
We are one episode away from the finale as of right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was that close.
Well, I thought Miss Marvel was getting screwed for coming out right now, but I think it's because didn't Kenobi get?
I watched Miss Marvel before I watched Kenobi Wednesday. That's first. Miss Marvel is first.
First, yeah, it's good.
Miss Marvel is like amazing.
Like legitimately, and I recognize that I am so not the target audience for that show, but it is amazingly like enjoyable.
You guys have both been raving on it. I'll probably give it a try. I mean, I don't know if I should watch it first because I have so many people to watch. But before I watch
honestly,
all the shows before it,
I don't know.
If you're here's the thing.
What's going to come up in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to watch any of the shows in any particular order.
No, okay.
Maybe Loki before WandaVision.
No.
Or after
Loki
after WandaVision.
Like, too late.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well that was again, too late. We've already watched WandaVision, so
yeah, because Falcon and Winter Soldier
should be good.
Yeah, you've seen the movies. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay. I was watching. I might watch Miss Marvel because that's actually Loki and Miss Marvel are the two I've heard the best about.
Yeah, those are the ones you should watch. If anything, Falcon and Winter Soldier is okay.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Hawkeye is the perfect definition of it exists.
I just have to watch Black Widow.
Oh, you have to watch that. Well, I haven't even seen Black Widow. For some reason, that movie completely went underneath my radar.
What's going on here? How have you not seen that?
Well, no, because it came out and it was $30 to watch it, and then I was just like, no.
Oh, I saw it in theaters.
Same reason I didn't see Mulan.
Now, I will say that Mulan remake is not great.
It was so. I mean, I
thought it was
it was coming out right before I was gonna leave. My mom was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna rent it for like $30." I was like, "Don't do that." I was like, "Just don't do it." I was like, "Just wait." And it was like, "It'll be free in like 2-3 weeks."
Yeah, that model was very much like Disney scrambling to like figure out what they were gonna do during the pandemic.
Well, people paid it, so it worked.
I mean, yeah, because they couldn't go to theaters.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they couldn't just throw it up on there because like they were gonna lose a lot of money.
They were like,
which I'm sure that they already lost a lot of money on it.
Oh yeah, a lot of people probably didn't do that, but some people did. Like you said, like they got people paying for it, but I don't know how much more profitable as an actual box office release.
And like with Disney Plus now, you want an honest take right now? I might be cutting Netflix sometime soon.
I can't do that.
My parents are.
Stranger Things is still on Netflix.
July, probably.
I'll probably watch Stranger Things. The more I think about it, I don't think I pay for my own Netflix account.
Trying to finish Breaking Bad.
I think me and my parents have been sharing a Netflix account for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I use my parents, but
listen. Keep Netflix. Stranger Things, there's this amazing show on there called Manifest. You need to watch Manifest.
Okay, I'll watch Stranger Things.
It's called Manifest. I'm 100% serious right now.
Stranger Things is almost done, though, so.
But yeah,
Netflix
I could
is
also
making
just
their final season.
reactivate an account if I want to watch something,
Well, I need to watch The Boys.
Yeah. I watched the first episode last night.
I'm getting tired of The Boys.
It is. We talked, me and Jake briefly talked.
He said something like that.
What?
Getting tired of it.
The Boys?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it does just feel like
it's the same thing. This is season 1 again.
We're just
I
doing.
really love the show. I mean, like, I don't know. I have to see it because I'm not judgmental,
I mean, it's fine.
But
if the kid could do anything.
Yeah.
If The Boys did like something.
Personally, I think there's so many other shows that
to watch
so
right
much
now
more worth my time.
Yeah,
than
right
The
now.
Boys.
Yeah, that's why I just watched the first episode.
There are so many shows that are so much more.
Like
worth it.
I would rather watch Kenobi
Honestly,
and Miss Marvel right now than
Batwoman is one of the worst CW shows that are on there. Season 2 I thought was really good. I would so much more rather watch that than The Boys right now.
I need to finish watching season 2.
Like
I like season 2 better than season 1 about one. That's what I was telling him.
So you watched season 2?
I haven't finished it. I've started watching it and I just
like it.
I liked it better. Yeah.
How much do you like it?
I don't know, a lot better than season 1.
But like you think it's like really good? Like you think it holds up well?
Well, yeah, because they kept it because like I told you before,
you think that second girl does a lot
Alice,
better? Huh? Don't you think that second girl does amazing?
Yes, Javicia Leslie does like awesome.
Right?
Yeah, he does awesome, and like I said, they kept
Alice.
Alice, that's like she's like one of my favorites on there because she's awesome.
Alice is one of my favorite villains from CW.
I like Mary too. I like Luke. Like the characters in that show, I think are really good. So some of the plot points people were like, "Oh, they're not as good." I'm like, no. It's just, maybe the action isn't as strong.
I like some of the characters better than I like the new Flash characters.
That's kind of what I was saying. Like I kind of prefer like these new people over like people that because like I still love my old Flash characters, but they keep cycling in new people every season. They did the same thing with Legends. They did the same thing with so it's like I want a show that has a set cast. So I hope Stargirl does that. I hope Stargirl keeps their same people.
Is Stargirl even going to keep going? Didn't all the CW shows get canceled?
Stargirl isn't on the
Superman
same
Lois
roster with them.
and Stargirl are both
good.
Yes, they are both amazing.
I don't watch
the acting.
They're
is
really,
sometimes
really
iffy in Stargirl, but it doesn't matter because it's worth it. It does not matter. Stargirl has some of the best choreography I've seen.
Yeah, it's awesome. And
I've seen behind the scene reels for Stargirl.
Like Stargirl has amazing choreography, amazing writing. The characters are all great. Like.
Now, I don't watch The Flash, but I do like watching reviews of The Flash and watching people getting angrier and angrier.
Because
I stopped watching after Armageddon.
I'm still watching it.
I don't know how far behind that is after Armageddon.
What season is that?
Armageddon was
this. Is that beginning of season 8?
Yeah, I think so.
That's this season.
Okay, then yeah, I'm only like at the beginning. I'm only like
no, that was last season.
Really?
I don't remember. Let me check real quick.
It was this season, I think.
It was
I can tell you.
Star Wars. Freaking Star Wars. Okay. Kenobi. What are you thinking so far?
Yeah, it's season 8 still. I mean, it's good. I'm really enjoying it.
I'm sensing a butt.
There's not really a butt. It's just like an add-on. Like, it's not the best Star Wars show I've ever seen.
No,
it's better than Boba Fett, that's for sure.
Oh, you didn't like Boba Fett. See, I thought Boba Fett was fine, and I thought people were overreacting about it.
I liked Boba Fett until the Mandalorian showed up.
Oh yeah, you are right. It does turn into a Mandalorian show.
Never in another series ever has the title character been thrown away for someone else.
For like two episodes.
Yes,
that
doesn't
6-episode
happen. I've argued with so many people about what a title character means.
Okay,
like,
here.
Harry Potter was never the back burner in his own story. Never. Percy Jackson, never the back burner of his story. Those are title characters.
I guess you're right. I'll argue a bit with the Harry Potter thing.
When was he a back burner, other than to the villain?
He is the least interesting character in the entire series.
But he's not on the back burner. He is always the main character. Even if he's not...
Have I talked to you about
even if
what
he's the least interesting character, he is always the main character.
Have I ever told you my theory about Harry Potter?
No.
He's not the real chosen one.
What?
He's not the real chosen one.
No.
It's not Neville, I promise you.
I don't know
my thing with Harry Potter is...
I don't know.
I think the reason Harry is the blandest character in all of those books is because he's just supposed to be an insert character. He's just supposed to be your fan fiction. He's not supposed
to be important.
Yeah, you are just supposed to insert yourself as that character, which is fine.
I wouldn't say that. I would say he's the least important because that's exactly how he was raised to be. You know what I mean? He was groomed for the role of being being overtaken by his fame.
He was being gaslit by an old wizard.
That was the entire point. He wasn't supposed to be overtaken by this fame. He wasn't supposed to be this big, amazing character. He's supposed to be boring, unnoticeable. You know? That was the point. Yeah. That was the point.
Star Wars. Okay. Boba Fett, I thought was completely fine. I think I even talked about this on the podcast, where it's like people were ragging on the teen, like the cybernetic people. I told everyone, it's like, listen, here's what's happening. You all forget, like, making fun of their Power Rangers motorcycles. All of you motherfuckers forgot that there was a 50s diner in Attack of the Clones. There's a precedent for this. Well, I don't
have a problem with that. One major problem was like that chase scene, but like.
The chase scene wasn't shot well, I'll give you that.
Yeah, no.
But
I don't think... I'll get to another thing in a second. But, like, Boba Fett, I really enjoyed the idea of Boba Fett being, like, the grandfather of bounty hunters. If they had gone through the idea of it being a show about bounty hunters, I would have loved it. I would have loved it so much.
Yeah.
The problem is they brought Mandalorian in, they brought Baby Yoda back. I don't want Baby Yoda anymore.
Here was my solution for fixing that all.
What?
If you didn't call it the Book of Boba Fett and you just released this if you just called it Mandalorian Season 2.5.
You're so right.
If you just did that, everything would have been solved.
I had this whole conversation about someone about expectations and how your expectations don't guide what a show will be. And I said, however, the studio gives us expectations. Mm-hmm. You know, they gave us the trailers, they gave us the posters, they gave us the descriptions of the show, they gave us the title of the show, and that sets the expectations. Now, whether those expectations got carried away or not, that's a different conversation. But they gave us the expectations, and I expect them to at least follow through with those expectations in some way and not throw away the characters.
That being said,
I expected the show about Boba Fett. I expected it to be Bounty Hunters. I did not expect there to be Jedi.
Yeah, I'm fine if it's not even Bounty Hunters. I kind of like the whole Godfather thing they were going for.
Well, I thought it was going to be like the Godfather of Bounty Hunters. Yeah. I thought when they said in the show, I have a lot of money to pay for help, I thought it was about to be Finnick going around with Mando collecting bounty hunters.
Okay.
So we could have saw
Bosk or
all
like
of the bounty hunters that we saw. Bosk, Imbo, that one girl with
we saw one.
Bro, even Ventress, she was a bounty hunter. We could have saw Ventress in that show.
We were talking about Ventress last night. Where has Ventress been?
Great Lyle.
But
that's who voices there. Just remembered.
That would have been the perfect opportunity, but it didn't happen because they took this character that they know makes money, and they shoved him in a show where he didn't belong.
I really want them to bring back Ventress.
If Baby Yoda
back
was
and
show,
they do like what they, I think it's Legends canon, all the stuff with like Quinlan Vos and all that.
I think it's still canon.
Is it still canon?
I mean, Quinlan's
Good.
alive.
I want to see. I want to see.
Quinlan's alive.
Yeah, we know that. That was such a hype moment. I thought that's why it wasn't canon anymore because we didn't know.
Alive.
I didn't know we knew if Quinlan was alive.
I think he was like one of the few Jedi we knew. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think.
He wasn't in Rebels or anything, was he?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But I think it was in the comics.
Okay, fair enough. So, yeah. But even those comics are 50-50 right now.
Well, anything after Disney bought them is canon.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But like Quinlan's like one of my favorite Jedi. It's like if I had to like some of my favorite Jedi, or it's like Quinlan Vos, Ahsoka Tano is. Well,
I thought the guy that plays, what's his name?
Hondo?
No. The new character in Kenobi.
Talking to the mic.
Sorry, the new character in Kenobi.
The new character in Kenobi.
Yeah.
Reva?
No, he's the guy. He also plays King.
Camille Nanjiani's character.
Yes, I thought he was gonna be.
I thought he was for a second, but I'm like, that's not him.
I thought he was gonna be what's his face.
Because the way his attitude was in that first scene with him was like kind of like snarky and kind of like what's going on. I thought for a second.
Well, I thought that would have been perfect, but it didn't happen.
No.
My major problem with Kenobi, I don't like the way it's shot. It feels like every single shot they take is super bland and it's boring, and there's no creativity to it.
Do we know
the writing's fine? The characters are fine.
Dude, people give so much shit to Rhea. I think she's perfectly fine.
Oh, I think she is.
I think the Star Wars fandom is the most toxic fucking fandom on the face of the earth. They're always got, like you were saying about expectations. They have the sky's the limit on their expectation. If it's anything shy of that, they immediately write it off as the worst thing they've ever seen.
TikTok.
As if we haven't seen fucking Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace, which are some dog shit fucking movies. Like, and if we're saying like those don't exist, if we haven't seen Rise of Skywalker and freaking like these shows are perfectly passable, and don't go on fucking Instagram and like berate this actress who's doing a fantastic job. Everyone's saying that Reva was like super annoying and whiny. She's a fucking dark side user. They're all annoying and whiny. Yeah. Anakin was annoying and whiny for 3 movies and 5 seasons or 7 seasons. And Luke, anyone who even flirts with the dark side is the most annoying bastard on the planet. Like the freaking
they're both so whiny all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially like and like I think Christensen's doing fine in the Vader suit. I think a lot of it is shooting.
She's not in the Vader a lot.
Is he not? I thought he was in it all the time.
He's in it sometimes, not all the time.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
I saw some behind-the-scene photos where he's not in the suit.
Because there are some shots with the suit where like somehow it's shot and Vader is somehow looking goofy, which I don't know how you made Darth fucking Vader look goofy.
I would agree with that to an extent.
Now, granted, the 5th episode completely undoes that and gives us like some hardcore Vader shit.
Oh, for sure. But even and it still then feels like some of this stuff had weird shooting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of like just like,
and going back because I was watching this when I first started Kenobi. Back to Stranger Things. I'm watching Stranger Things and I'm like, every single shot is so beautifully like it looks like everything. What I've heard. Everything has a purpose. Mm-hmm. Everything has a purpose. It's like they are so purposeful with everything they do in that show. And then I'm going to Kenobi and I'm like, what's going on here? I feel like this is like kind of. Not lazy, but just here.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. Like, the show's not bad by any means. I'm enjoying I love this show. It's great. I'm loving it. I love Little Leia. I love Reva. I love Kenobi. I love all the characters. But it's just like...
That actress, by the way, that kid actress.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing.
An amazing job. I've never seen... Like, I generally, like, don't particularly like... kids in acting, not in acting, but in movies a lot of the time. Jake just nearly spit out his water.
Like children ever.
I just hate screen. Children. But there's a lot. That's all, and it's not their fault. It's just really hard to direct a child.
Yeah.
You know, like how do you? They don't have like the same like.
I've seen a lot of good child acting recently,
but like she is doing an amazing job. Yeah. Like to the point that like, man, I just want to watch. Her do something later on, like get this actress like they got with Christensen to do some stuff later. See you in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Let's set up that weird thing with that kid at the end of was it Rise of Skywalker or something like that?
It's Last Jedi.
It is like Last Jedi. They show that random kid on that like the casino planet, and he was like looking up in the sky. You're like, who the fuck is this?
Someone made the comment, and it makes so much sense to me now. and it makes so much sense because it does feel exactly like how that movie is.
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker feels like one of those AI generated scripts. Do you get what I'm saying? Where there's
I haven't
not
seen the movie in so
there's
long.
not a lot of
honestly can't
setup
even,
or
like,
pay, and it's just
things are just.
I am
happening.
a sequel defender to the grave and back.
I will defend the
So-
first. I'll defend Force Awakens and even parts of Last Jedi. I will defend.
Last Jedi is my second favorite Star Wars
There
movie.
are some good points in Last Jedi. I will give you that. There were some legitimately I like certain parts of that.
Yeah, I agree.
But
actually,
that third movie is a mess, and it's because the fucking toxic fandom for some reason these studios are listening to internet trolls. It's my same thing with Marvel. They
Wait, you
well,
you don't
I
like the
wouldn't
twist in
say-
that movie either.
I would say the first movie, Force Awakens, was received well. Then you have Last
Yeah.
Jedi, which was received.
mixed.
It was
Listen,
fully mixed.
my only
you had
problem-
people who were on one side of the spectrum that were like, yes, amazing. Inside the spectrum, they were so loud. This movie was horrible. So when you say, okay, we have to flip the script. As people that are making that movie, they're probably like, oh shoot, we have to at least do something well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but it does feel like a studio movie.
Absolutely.
Whereas,
But when you have something that is so strongly hated, and you're like, I don't know what to do. We can't make another movie like that.
I would have
because it's gonna
respected
do
it more
bad.
had it just committed
Oh,
to
absolutely.
this fuck the Jedi
Absolutely.
narrative.
But I can't help but be like, as the people that were making that movie,
Yeah.
be a little afraid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying you didn't like the twist in Rise of Skywalker though?
What twist?
No, absolutely not.
Palpatine?
The
Yeah.
Palpatine shit? No.
Who she ended up being. I didn't care about him being alive.
Because
I
you
just
know why I
just
didn't
liked
like
it.
that? You know
Yeah.
why I didn't like that? Because it was absolutely not the plan. I'm pretty sure Ridley even has said this since that movie came out. It's like, that was not the plan.
Really?
The first two movies all set up Rey to be this person who was a nobody, and that was the whole thing that they were going to talk about, is that the
They-
Force
no,
isn't this
she
fucking thing
said
that a Jedi
They went
is.
back and forth a lot. They were still figuring it out. Which, it's a story. That's how you develop stories.
If you're making a
movie.
trilogy of movies, by the time the first one is done, you need to have 2 and 3.
Lucas didn't.
Well, Lucas didn't because there wasn't supposed to be a second and third movie. It was just supposed to be
No, he
Star
wanted
Wars.
to make them all. It was just he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to if the first one didn't do well.
Yeah, so you made one movie.
Yeah,
This
but he
is
still
Star
had a
Wars.
story.
You
But he-
know
he-
that there's
he
gonna be 2 more
He
of these
still
bastards.
had a Star Wars plan though, and it changed. It switched. It was like that the whole time. You can tell in Empire Strikes Back, he did not know if they were going to be siblings yet. He did not know if they were going to be
Oh,
siblings.
yeah.
Oh,
And all of a sudden-
yeah.
all of a
Because
sudden,
they probably would have written in the
yeah,
incest
exactly.
shit.
Like he didn't have a full plan, and I think them keeping it ambiguous in the
But
movies about who she
I'm gonna
is
be
completely
honest,
fine.
I
Because
don't think Lucas is
fit.
that great of a writer
absolutely
on
not.
a lot of stuff.
Absolutely not.
Like, it's famous, like the whole thing about the fact that Star Wars was made in the editing bay. Like, that's when there's an old film school quote. It's like, the movie you shoot, the movie you edit, and the movie you release, or the movie you write, the movie you shoot, and the movie you edit.
Yeah.
That movie was absolutely made on that third thing.
Yeah.
That was the one that gets released. So luckily, that one was the one that was fantastic, and they really knew how to with the John Williams school, where they knew how to make this look good.
Yeah.
And I think those first 2 movies introduced some really good ideas of hey, let's reevaluate the Jedi, because we all kind of recognize that the Jedi were kind of wrong.
Yeah.
They were kind of a religious organization.
well,
who
they
kind
were
of,
wrong during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, they were wrong during the Clone
They
Wars
just corrupt. They
constantly.
just ended up being corrupt.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
The whole thing about the Separatists is Dooku saying, Dooku saying, the Jedi are corrupt. The Senate is corrupt. We're gonna be the Separatists. We're going over here. We're starting up this war now. He was 100% right. Does Dooku know that?
Yeah, but the Separatists were
Cities-
corrupt too. They didn't know that either. The Separatists didn't know. The
Yeah.
Separatists and the
Does
Republic
Dooku
were in
know-
the exact same situation.
Yeah.
Because Dooku is to the Separatists as Palpatine is to the Republic. They both thought they were
Yeah.
saviors, especially on the heroes on both sides.
This
of
is a
the Clone
legitimate
Wars.
question.
They didn't know that Dooku was bad. They had no clue.
Yeah.
They thought he was right about everything.
Yeah,
they
the
were
public
corrupt,
didn't know
and
that.
we were right, but they weren't right. Neither side was right. Dooku didn't even know his
because
plan.
it was a
'cause he
completely
murdered.
manufactured war by one man.
Yeah, exactly. So not only were the Jedi the Jedi just had no other way. They were forced in this war. They didn't know a way out, so they were corrupted because they were forced in a war by 2 sides in which they had no way out. You know what I mean? They had no other option
Yeah.
but to become corrupt.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
What were you gonna say? Your question?
Oh, this is a legitimate question. Does Dooku know that Sidious is Palpatine?
No. Yes.
Does he know?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knew he was Lord Sidious because that's what he called him in all their transmissions. Called him Lord Sidious.
Yeah, but doesn't he always like look? I guess he does know what he looks like. I guess in my mind he always had the wrinkled face, but I guess he didn't.
He always had the hood.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember seeing him in like the scene. He was like, "Do it." You know what I mean? Like, because he has his hood off in that.
Oh,
scene.
that's a good point. So yeah, definitely by the time Dooku dies, he definitely
Yeah,
knows.
by the time he dies,
That was the whole point. He took the Chancellor. They took the Chancellor.
Yeah. So yeah, he definitely knew. Okay. I know. We were talking about the Clone Wars last night and how great that show is. Like that, I think, and this is another one of my stupid opinions that I'll die on this hill on. I've always thought Star Wars works better as a TV show than it does as a movie series.
Yeah.
Just by the nature of how these stories are kind of told. Like if we go batting average movies versus TV shows, I'm giving it to TV shows, man. You know. How many? Okay, here's the question. 9 Star Wars. No, let's say how many?
11.
11 Star Wars movies. How many of those would you say are legitimately good movies?
New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi, and Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Rogue One. I really like Solo, and I really like Revenge of the Sith. That's pretty much majority of them.
I would say
that's how I feel. Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars ever. I think it embodies what Star Wars should be, and it's a movie. You know
Rogue
what I mean?
One's really good.
Rogue One is
the Darth Vader scene of Rogue One
phenomenal.
Was awesome.
It was the idea of hope being passed on to somebody else, everybody dying. Like a movie where everybody dies in the end. That's exactly what I want. I don't want them to win. I want there to be, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like
I would.
They did succeed.
Yeah, like that's amazing. That's such a good story. Oh my goodness. You know, when you have Rogue One, and Clone Wars is amazing to me, but there's so much of it that can be skipped.
Oh, there is. There absolutely
There's so
is.
much of it can be skipped because Clone Wars wasn't focused on telling a story. It was focused on world building. Creating a world in which the prequels exist.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's doing. It's giving context for the prequels.
And you know what? I genuinely hope that
it worked. It worked.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I was
but
saying,
it just
no, you're fine.
It just didn't tell a story.
Yeah.
Not a cohesive one, if you know what I mean.
I am genuinely hope. I genuinely hope this happens. I hope that the sequel trilogy gets the Clone Wars effect that the prequels had, where it gets some kind of
they're doing
extra series that will fix it all. Because let's do a hard cut back to 2000, and when did the Return of the Sith come out? Like 2008, 2007.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
I don't know, 2000.
So whenever we wrapped up the prequel trilogy, and you would have thought that these movies were like Birdemic. You would have thought that these movies were the most hated thing on the planet. That was the start of the end when it came to like Star Wars being the most toxic fandom on the face of the earth. But then Dan Filoni comes on, and we get I think it's Cartoon Network at the time, and then moved to Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And then we get this animated show.
Well, you had a theatrical release movie first.
Oh yeah, we had that, but that movie's also not great.
It was the 2D and 3D animated series.
That was Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
Who's like, when it comes to animation, like one of the people I look at the most. Like his entire aesthetic is what inspires my art. Like just everything.
It's really sharp. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the way he does everything is on point. To the point that I like even he worked. I think he worked on. I know he worked on the first one. I don't know if he worked on any other ones, but the Hotel Transylvania movies.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the reason they're so squishy and like they move so much more like a 2D character, even though they are a 3D character.
Yeah.
Is because that like you look at that and then you look at like his sketches and stuff like, oh, this is just how he designs stuff.
Yeah.
But specifically, like the Clone Wars comes along, and it's just like, just fix everything that was a problem here. What is the Clone Wars? What actually happened in that jump between 2 and 3? Let's watch Anakin. And the nature of Anakin's story works so much better as a slow burn.
I don't even feel it was fixing it as much as filling the plot holes. Because I feel like that's all that.
To me, that's fixing it.
Yeah, I guess that's true in a way. Like, because to me, like Star Wars is a story full of plot holes and they just fill it with all this other content. You know what I mean? Because like the amount of plot holes that you see in some of the original movies, like they're there. Like they're there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the same thing with like the sequels. You know, it has plot holes. They're just talked about a lot more than the other ones. But like they're filling those right now. Like the line somehow Palpatine returned. Like we have an answer to how he returned. We know how he returned. That is exactly why they put that line there, so they could create more content. So they could
do we know how he returned?
Yes, he did. He was cloned.
That's what I assumed.
That's what Baby Yoda was taken for. That's the whole reason the Empire wanted Baby Yoda, so that they could figure out how to clone Force sensitivity.
What is this in?
In Mandalorian.
This is not what they haven't said this yet. They are implying. This is what this is what they might be building towards.
What I think they're doing with the Bad Batch. I think she's
interesting.
I need to finish the Bad Batch.
I think what's her name is Omega is a Force sensitive clone. I think she's the first Force sensitive clone.
Yeah, she probably is. So a lot of
there
was
she's
a
actually
Force
Rey's mom
clone in Legends, if I'm remembering correctly.
What?
There was,
in Legends. But not canon.
Yeah, not canon anymore.
Because that was the whole issue. They can't clone.
They can't use.
And also in Mandalorian, we saw all the clones in the base and the end of the second season.
I haven't finished Bad Batch
trying
yet.
to clone.
Is that not what they were? Did they not get to that?
No.
Okay, because I thought that was very clear.
No, we don't know. We don't know what Omega's special ability is. Apparently, there's a theory going around that she's Rey's mom, which I kind of like.
Okay.
Palpatine was.
You might be right. They might be trying to fix some of this stuff, like make it make sense.
There's even a plot hole. Well, it's kind of a plot hole in Clone Wars. They never finished the Kilo Beast arc. They never finished it. We have no clue why he was like, "Hey, clone this thing again."
Oh yeah, we have no idea what happened to that thing.
They never finished that.
The end.
Well, the thing dies, and then he's like,
"Oh, he's like, clone it."
Yeah, let's clone it again, and then we never see it again.
Exactly. Personally, I think Rebels is a way better story in Star Wars than.
I would say it's a better singular story, but there are arcs in Clone Wars that I think are like top tier Star Wars stuff.
Oh, sure, but as a TV
yeah,
show,
you're right. The stuff
Rebels
like,
is better. I think as a TV show, telling a story, Rebels is better.
But it's also like you're talking about a singular narrative versus a show that just did 4-episode arcs. And just gave you.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying, though. Clone Wars is for world building. It's not for telling a cohesive story. It's for telling a couple stories that show an overarching world in a world of war. You know what I mean?
But also, you get long form stories like Ahsoka's entire arc. Like, and the reason she's the best.
Yeah, but it's not a
she's the best thing to come out of the Jedi.
But it's not a cohesive story. You
have
to put it together yourself. Ahsoka's story in Rebels is way more cohesive than it is in Clone Wars.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, you're right there. But like I said, it's because we're doing an episodic.
Plus, I think Kanan is one of the best Jedi.
Yeah,
that we have. He's able to have a relationship, not be attached, still be so connected to the light side of the Force, and train a Padawan. Like who else?
That's my thing with like freaking. Like the reason I kind of like the deconstruction of the Jedi was the whole thing is like, man, did you guys not? You all knew that like Anakin and Padme were banging. Every one of you knew.
Yeah.
All of you did. Not just that. Freaking Kiadi Mundi over there, fucking dickhead dude, is fucking getting laid all over the place to save his species. That's a whole thing.
Well, yeah, but that's different.
I don't care. You guys couldn't have figured something out here.
Well, it was kind of bad that Anakin got it. Like you know what I mean. Yeah. Like they were kind of right about Anakin not supposed to be having a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were ways around this. You're telling me that fucking
they allowed it.
You're telling me that Yoda didn't know like this Grogu shit was going on and didn't realize it's like, oh, we can probably help Padme.
What do you mean? What do you mean Grogu?
Like we know Grogu was there during Order 66.
Yeah.
Which means they knew potentially about the healing powers.
Yeah, but that's not what Force healing is. Force healing is in Clone Wars too. It's on Mortis arc.
Yeah, but you're telling me that Force couldn't have thought this through? In order to
Force heal, especially someone that is dying, you have to take someone's life from them and put it in another body. That means you're taking another life. There was no way. What Anakin wanted to do was to heal her without taking more life. That is what he asked Palpatine. He said, I want to heal her using the Force. You can't do that. And if you're going to Force heal, you have to take the life from something else and give it to something else. That's why Ben died, because he gave all of his Force life to her, because that was the only way he could save her, because she was dead. You know what I mean? Same thing with Mortis. That's the only reason Ahsoka is alive, because they took all of the living force from
but he
the
survived
sister.
that somehow,
What?
Right?
Who?
Ben?
No, he's a Force ghost.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Well, he's not a Force ghost yet because she's still alive and they're a dyad, but.
And Qui-Gon can't. Qui-Gon couldn't become a Force ghost. That was the whole thing.
Qui-Gon became a Force ghost?
No, he couldn't become a full ghost. He could only transcend his voice or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was still like he was still trying to figure that shit out when he got stabbed.
Yeah.
It's like, well, 50%.
He was only able to be a Force ghost on Mortis because it was a Force planet. So,
makes sense.
Man, this franchise might be too complicated.
No, it makes sense.
I think we've had a certain point.
A lot of people love it because it's so complicated.
And I kind of do too. Like I have to be at least partially honest. Like that is half the reason I kind of enjoy a lot of Star Wars, is just because like this world is very rich.
I just love deep lore, like if anything, Star Wars, superhero stuff.
Well, that's why you always loved the Elder Scrolls, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Elder Scrolls. Adventure Time has deep lore. Basically all the TV shows that I've seen have something.
If he's been pestering me so much to finish Steven Universe, I am watching. I just want
to watch the movie with him because I know he'd love the movie and he won't finish the series.
Well, you gotta watch all the Marvel shows.
See, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about
Gotcha. And he's had on his list for a lot longer.
Yeah, you also realize I'm watching 3 different shows right now. 4 different shows right now.
I'm watching so many.
I'm watching
freaking Kenobi, Miss Marvel. I guess I got the boys going on now. This is beyond the fact that I just enjoy watching normal movies.
Just don't watch it.
I like Steven Universe. I like what I've seen.
I was talking about the boys.
Oh, the boy. Yeah, no, the boy.
Yeah, but I don't like the Flash, and I'm still watching.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Don't. But I have to.
Well, because
I
have
to finish the show.
The nature of like what we do, and the nature of like me, like how I critique movies, how I like writing stuff, how I'm making stuff, what me and you are working on right now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
All of these things, watching these things is like homework to me, where it's like I need to stay up to date. I need to know what's going on. How are we making movies today?
Yeah.
That's why I try to say like media literacy and like understanding, like for the average human being. No, you do not need to watch all of this.
Yeah.
But I've signed my way to.
I just like watching them because I like watching them. I like being in another world.
But I generally kind of treat it as partially like my job.
Well, yeah, I think Miss Richard honestly was one of the excuse, like as an artist.
Yeah, she's the one that spelled it into me.
It is like you're part of your job to watch the movies and TV shows and theater shows and everything, and watch other actors work, because you learn as an actor to watch other actors. And I was like, okay, that means I can watch as much TV as I want, and I could call it work.
And even when it comes to the boys, where after this first episode, I'm like, this is gonna be rough. This is gonna. Not rough.
I think I'll like it probably more than you will.
You probably will.
I guarantee you I probably will, because I love that shit. I mean, like, you said you didn't like it that much in the first place, and I was like...
Well,
it was okay to me in the first place. Like, just okay, though.
That's where I'm at
I liked it a lot, like I was a bigger fan. So I think I'll enjoy it more.
Season 2,
I liked
really
the concept.
Yeah.
It was just in practice, I was like...
I think it's also suffering from the fact that, like, we're in season 3 of The Boys, and we've seen so many things like this now, where it's like, let's do superheroes and make them do drugs and get all have sex and do wrong things that heroes wouldn't do. What was the fucking Batman thing from the Harley Quinn show? Do you remember that?
Well, no, I didn't see.
There was a note. Have you seen the Harley Quinn show? It's amazing, and both of you should watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a season 3 on HBO Max. It was on DC Universe, and I was paying for DC Universe for this show.
Yeah, it's so funny that it came that long. Like, I can't forget that's where it started.
But there was a supposed to be a scene where Batman goes down on Catwoman. It's a very mature show, but like in a way that's still fun, unlike The Boys. Or one like this first episode, I would say.
Yeah.
But there was a scene where Batman was supposed to go down on Catwoman, and they got a note back from the studio. It says, "Batman can't do that. Heroes don't do that." And then the creator, I think, went on Twitter or something and just started roasting the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Because it was hilarious. And then the internet got a hold of it and just went crazy like that.
Do they not? That's what I didn't know.
No, I don't think so. I think it was for the new season.
Yeah.
But
I say the heroes not do that. I didn't know. I'd never heard that.
which is it's just funny. That's just objectively funny.
It's called giving back.
Oh my god. Do you have anything else we should touch on? I don't know how long we've been going. It's been a bit.
I don't either. I haven't paid attention.
I don't know.
Shrek 2.
There was something me and Jake were talking about with like the greatest sequels of all time, and Shrek 2 was surprisingly high on that list.
I don't remember anything from Shrek. I remember Shrek. That's it.
You know what? You can come and watch them on our show, Catch a Movie Commentary.
Seriously, Shrek 2 is the best.
Available
Shrek
on all the
movie.
favorite podcasting
One
platforms.
of the best sequels too. Cinderella 3 is a really good sequel.
He's obsessed with that one.
Twisted
We got to
Time.
watch that one, Jake.
It's really good. It's just got everything that you want. It's got action, comedy. It's got cool time travel. It's got
Does it have 3 Cinderellas?
no
Does it have 2?
3 Cinderellas web slinging around the the Disney castle. No, it has none of that. It has 2. It does have 2 Cinderellas.
Yeah, I imagined. I hope there would be, at least because of like the Back to the Future
It's
thing.
not time travel like that though.
I thought it was the time travel.
It's like more like a turn back time.
So like Life is Strange.
I don't know.
Like
He
like
doesn't.
Harry
he-
Potter.
how have
you
you
still
got
exist in
Like
your
Harry
body.
Potter. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Potty.
Harry Potter.
It's like you still exist.
That's not
in
what
your
the
body.
Time Runners did, was it?
It put you back in time, and you were still existing.
Yeah.
Before you
Yeah,
went
like
back in
you
time.
wake up.
That's
you
just
wake
time
up
travel.
a few years ago. Like
Well, yeah, but I just wasn't sure if it was like I was just using that as an example.
I
Like-
think what he's describing is like it's like I gotta think of
I don't
something
know.
else other than the reference he already didn't get. But like where you like can just like if I picked up that remote and
you
hit
just
rewind.
are back in time.
Yeah,
like
you
the
just-
thing
Oh,
is
okay.
like there's no clones, there's no copies.
Okay.
The sisters and the stepmom just travel back in time.
Okay.
And Cinderella remembers kind of a little bit. She's
Okay.
confused.
We need
No,
to
wait,
watch-
never mind.
That
She
time
doesn't-
travel doesn't make sense.
Me and you are gonna watch those movies.
Never mind. She doesn't make sense.
Do I need to see Cinderella 2?
She doesn't- No. It's actually the weird thing is Cinderella 1. Okay, so here's Cinderella 1, right? Here's Cinderella 2, and here's Cinderella 3. So it's like the timelines branch off,
Oh boy.
right? So
So it's Loki again.
I guess.
I think Loki's version of time travel is the best thing ever. I love Loki's time travel.
Oh.
I love it so much. It makes so much sense. It
Nobody,
works perfectly.
Cares.
All right, I don't care about you. Yeah, fall off a tree. I don't know.
Kidding. Of course I care.
Well,
I
thank
was
you.
trying to stay still in this chair.
I think you've been fine this whole time.
Yeah, I've been trying to stay like.
Yeah, it's either that or it's gonna be everyone's just gonna be yelling about it squeaking.
Yeah,
I
tried
gotta
to
fix it.
Keep
I
it
gotta
locked
fix.
into place.
Yeah, I gotta fix it. But I think it's been fine. Thank you, Alex, for coming.
Alex, did you
You're
just tell the
all-
audience your social security number, your SS number,
5.
DL number,
I don't.
address?
It's in my car.
That's fine.
Well, thank you for coming, and you're always welcome back, and we can nerd out more.
Thank you.
If anyone's gonna come in and challenge me on all
After Jake watches
My-
more things.
my bold opinions, you should come in and do Catch a Movie just to watch him watch those movies. Like that's honestly what half of what I do now. I just find the worst fucking movies
watch-
and make him watch
Should
them.
watch Velocipaster.
You sit on.
I see.
This
I
one,
was somebody
I sit
recommended
on
Velocipaster
that one.
to
I
me.
watch the TV and you watch me.
We'll do like a 3, like
That'd
a
be cool.
3, like a in screen, like like shitty react YouTubers. Which I
Like,
guess is
it's
what
like
we
the
are,
movie,
but like,
and then my reaction to the movie, and then Alex's reaction to me, and then
but no,
your
we're
reaction to
commentary
both of
checks.
us.
We're totally different.
Huh?
We're commentary checks.
Yeah,
We're totally different.
yeah.
But we'll do like a picture in picture. So it'll be like Jake watching the thing, then Jake face cam, me, and then Alex watching it. So it just keeps going.
As I was saying, like it'd be like you watching Alex, like it's everyone's facial reactions of watching the other person's face, except for me, who is actually watching the movie.
Have you guys seen on TikTok where the old kids from like the Fine Brothers React series are like they're like adults now?
You talking about the kid? The kids reacted like saying it's not good.
Yeah, I was saying that like it was a horrible experience for all of them.
Yeah, I actually have seen that. I was surprised
I was like,
because they were like they
whoa.
wouldn't let you actually say your own opinion. I was like, so they were like gassed. Why would they like try to like Why are they trying to control the opinion of young people? Like, what does it matter to them?
And like, well,
They're like, no, say this. And they're like, what?
They were also always on thin ice after the whole like trying to copyright the word react thing. Was it? Do you remember that when like there were live streams of people like unsubbing of like the sub count dropping for the Fine Bros?
Oh my, yes. Well, I mean, obviously they were not a great work environment. Just like, you can tell just from what just from that.
That's from the era of the internet that was like, I feel like that early YouTube era, I think, which is so far gone at this point.
Yeah.
Like most of the people that were even involved with that shit, like be it like Smosh or like Fine Bros or like all of that, most of them like just after like the Defy shit too.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, oh, guess what? MCNs are bad. Guess what? Guess what? Studios are fucking the creators over. Like we haven't heard this merry tale.
Yeah.
You know. But I think that I don't know. Yeah. Like that era of the internet is like such a specific time capsule at this point. I think now. Even though it wasn't that long ago. But like the internet's like one of those things where it's like this was 5 days ago or it was 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it does not matter. Like who's making Morbius jokes anymore?
It's Morbin time. I've actually seen that a lot recently, so I've
yet to meet a single human being who has watched that movie.
Oh.
Okay, you're the first. You're the first, and it's because you work in a movie theater, isn't it?
You're right. I watched it for free, so I went and saw it.
How many people went to see that movie?
Not a lot.
Was it any good?
Nah, why?
Any good?
It was there.
It was a movie.
It felt like I was watching the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes of a movie. That's all I was watching. I was constantly watching the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes.
15 minutes and the last. Okay.
That's all I was watching.
Okay.
I never knew if the movie was going to end or start over. Like,
this is the beginning.
Like, I watched it.
This might be
I watched
one
it at
for the
7:30 at night,
list.
and someone's watch
be.
went off in the movie, like saying it was like 9 o'clock. But I didn't know that because I wasn't looking at my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I swear, if it is only 8 o'clock and there's still over an hour left in this movie, I have never walked out of a movie before. Yeah. I am leaving.
How long is the movie?
Like, oh my gosh, it's like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
I thought you were gonna say this was like 3 hours.
No, it's
3
not long.
hours later.
3 hours later.
It's Morbin time.
Yeah, but I mean, it was.
Is that an actual line in the movie, or is that just something people made up?
I really want to say yes.
Okay.
It would have been better.
Okay. But Jared Leto's also like a nut, isn't he? Because he's got like a cult or something on an island for some reason.
Personally, method actors shouldn't be acting.
Oh, okay. This is something me and you can relate on, where method actors are assholes.
If you have to method act to act, maybe you don't act.
Jake?
I'm not.
Do you method act?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I'm not anti method acting.
I'm for researching and doing what is required to make sure the character's good. Not method acting where you have to use the restroom in a wheelchair, so it takes 45 minutes to use the restroom.
I think
when
trying those things.
That is exactly
fine,
what Morbius. That's what Jared Leto did. He took 45 minutes off production every single time he had to use the restroom because he had to do it in a wheelchair.
That's like some.
That's ridiculous.
What's the Jim Carrey movie where he's playing the is it George Carlin? What comedian was he playing? I can't remember.
Like, I'm for
the movie where he's like, I am possessed by this dead comedian, and he just started having freakouts on set and was yelling at people. This is another thing about me and like not particularly liking Jim Carrey.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There was like a whole thing.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, hold up. Let's.
But like, I'm for researching, asking people, getting real experiences so that you can better suit your character.
Yeah.
But don't pretend like you have the same problems. Don't pretend like you can't walk. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
You know,
is he paralyzed in the movie?
Yes.
Well, I think that's
or he's not paralyzed. He has like a condition. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't remember what the condition.
He's in a wheelchair.
Well, I think that you can method act if it's not at that level, though. Like, I think that if you're like not doing something
method acting though at its core is being your character, pretending to be your character in the real life, so that you're not switching between yourself and your character.
Yeah.
you know, I'm all for getting into character, but you have to be able to get out of it. Because it's not sustainable for you or anybody around you for you to stay in character for that long. Like if you're doing a movie and it takes, I don't know, 6 months to make the movie and you're in your character for 6 straight months, you are going to lose yourself.
Yeah.
Like even if the stuff with like Heath Ledger is just rumors about all that stuff.
See, that's the stuff I'll argue against because
like,
I hate it when people bring that stuff up. I feel like people
would lose themselves. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing.
Even if that's a rumor.
I hate it when people bring that stuff up and being like, oh, the Joker made him off himself. It was like, no, he was genuinely mentally ill and had a lot of legitimate issues that you guys are fucking trivializing by saying it was a fucking clown role.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Even if it, like, is it a rumor, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can still understand.
It didn't help, but
like,
it wasn't the reason.
By the way, the Jim Carrey movie I was thinking of was him playing, it was in Man on the Moon. He was playing the Andy Kaufman.
Oh. Okay.
And yeah, that was the movie. Like, he just, for some reason, like, went super, like, he was saying all this shit. It's like, oh, I'm being possessed by the ghost of Andy Kaufman. Like, it's like, what the fuck are you on about, man?
Like, you just need to be able to just have a distinction between who you are and who you're not.
It does need that stuff can't come home with you.
Yeah,
that is a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And that we see this with like certain celebs and stuff where like they can't differentiate between their characters. I think it's a problem more and more in the modern day where your presence on screen and your presence in the public eye, just by the nature of like the internet and stuff, is becoming closer and closer to like the persona you are actually in life. And when you genuinely, this is the thing with movies and stuff, happy lives aren't interesting. Conflict is what's interesting. And when you are presenting yourself with conflict in reality, and then you have to blur the lines between you and what from public you and private you, when you blur those lines, then you end up with this conflict in your real life. Like all this fucking. Me and you were talking about the Kanye West shit and how he is absolutely like just going down this like he's clearly having like this manic bipolar episode, you know, and it's kind of tough to watch at a certain point. Or we didn't even touch on this and all this, but that all this Ezra Miller shit where like
that's just getting worse and worse.
That's getting worse and worse by the day. And like they end up are just like going so far off the rails. Like you won. I'm gonna put this in big fucking air quotes. You won an Oscar for a fan nominated category for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
You don't look at the asterisks on that, but then they immediately, like, I'm sure that wasn't the sole catalyst, and I'm sure that they've been losing their minds.
Yeah.
Slowly, or like have some kind of issue or something, but they also from what's going on right now, they might have just actually kidnapped a person.
Yeah. He's missing with a girl.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous that the cops still have not found him as of right now.
Yeah.
And it is,
they said they've been trying to chase him down, but they can't stop him in one place is their problem that they've said.
But also I don't think it's like it doesn't sound like it's like an active manhunt thing. I think they were trying to serve them for something.
Yeah. Well, it's like a personal safety thing. They're trying to serve against him, for her, I think, and also I think another family's trying to do it too. But
there was a lot of stuff, but it's just like, what is DC gonna do about that movie? They're probably
no, they're releasing it. They're done with the movie. He's not playing Flash anymore. I think they've already said that.
They said they hope people are gonna forget the controversy long enough to go and watch the movie.
You guys,
that's what they said.
What? Yeah. Okay,
but I don't think he's not. They already fired him, I think.
Did you guys see the
But the movie's already made, so they're gonna release it. Yeah. Like, there's no point in not releasing it if the movie's already made.
Yeah.
Same with Aquaman.
Definitely.
But this is not your title. Amber Heard was not the title character.
Rat Pack.
But did you guys see? There's a ridiculous conspiracy theory that Ezra Miller is a subject. It was a MK Ultra subject genetically made by the government to get the public to hate non-binary people.
What the what?
It was just one of those asinine, like, batshit insane, like, conspiracy theory stuff.
Might be true. Might be true.
Might not be.
You never know.
But I tried to end this earlier, but we were still going.
Yeah.
But thank you, Alex. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Jake, you're always there.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
thanks.
Jake, you're always here.
I mean, he's either here or he's in a hotel somewhere else.
Yeah. I have a
and that's not even
lifestyle.
That's not even a joke. That's just the truth.
He's calling me a hotel whore.
No, it's just that
we know it's true, Jake.
We spend a lot of time in in weird places.
I feel like this isn't making it better.
Yeah, it's getting worse. Backseat of your 4.
Uh
Anyways.